Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I look like I train, but I also won't say no to a cookie.
So guys, so this video is a little bit different. We're gonna call this the 4-hour body transformation. And that is just because right now, I'm kind of off season, swam a lot this year. And before we start swimming again next year, we're just in this kind of general physical preparedness, just training to train. And then me and Ben had an idea, which was just this idea of aesthetics and appearance being so malleable. It can fluctuate so much. And so today we want to come down to Gymshark and basically just show all the things that you can do to take a bad picture to aesthetically look bad, whether that is bad posture, no pump, depleted, the lighting as well, which we're going to consult Ben's genius on as a videographer, photographer, just like washed out light. And we're going to take the worst picture possible that we can today. Then, gonna go and carb up, look at intracellular forcing fluid into the muscles, get a pump on, good lighting, take some arginine, nitric oxide, and then we're gonna see just exactly what we're working with. So I kind of just want this, like I said, to, I'm definitely not a fitness model in any way. I'm not a bodybuilder. There is an exact science. Bodybuilders are still trying to perfect this science. But I kind of just wanted to show what I've learned over the years being around great fitness models and bodybuilders. Obviously, huge shout out to my friend Ryan Terry, just crushed Mr. Olympia physique. So there's people like him who are genuinely amazing. I'm not one of them, but I've picked up little tips along the way, certainly when I've done the odd photo shoot to illustrate an exercise. But like I said, definitely not a bodybuilder, definitely not a fitness model, but hopefully today we can show just how flexible, malleable, fluid the concept of aesthetics is. So with all of that said, gonna go into the gym now. Gonna start actually with a fasted cardio session, hit a little bit of legs, but it's gonna be kind of like strength prehab. And that's just gonna serve to deplete the body completely, take a horrible picture, carb up, come back workout with Ben, pumped, hopefully semi-good picture. That's the plan anyway. Just starting with a few cheeky reverse Nordics because it was my birthday the other day and I am 38 years old, so I am old and my knees hate me. So I've got to start with some band-assisted reverse Nordics just to get my old bones warmed up. Okay, now my old and suffering knees are now warmed up. Gonna jump on and do some fasted cardio in the new Vivo Biomes as well. I am actually one of very few people, there's only 200 of us trialing these at the moment. These have basically been 3D scanned to my feet. So I'm gonna be busting these out. I need to test run these for the next month. So I'm putting some Mars in these. But also as well, the idea of doing fasted cardio, this has been one of the biggest things that I took away from James Morton, who is a Jedi Grand Master, absolute legend, PhD nutritionist, science and sport nutritionist, basically led Team Sky to Tour de France winning glory. And he was just talking about this idea of just being more fat adapted. So you actually use the fat already stored on the body rather than dietary fat. So I'm doing a lot more fasted sessions. So not only is this kind of serving to deplete me for that terrible picture that we're trying to capture, it's also got a scientific rationale for it as well. So zone 2, really slow fat adaptation should look a little something like this. All right, now moving on to some cheeky reverse sled drags. Shout out to, well, knees over toes guy who really made this like form of strength prehab so popular. But also as well, like Louis Simmons as well, Westside Barbell, just like a massive advocate of just sled work for general physical preparedness. And then even that Jeff Cates dating back to like the old school strongmen as well. So this is one thing that I've really been using a lot for my strength rehab prehab, because I was in the water so much for most of this year. My legs just like went to jelly, even just like ligaments, tendons, everything. So really focusing on this. Again, it's off season, So this features quite heavily. Okay, workout done. What's going to happen now is I feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm going to do, I suppose, a weird posing routine in my shorts while Ben takes pictures of me. Thanks, Ben. But I feel a little bit weird, but again, the whole purpose of this is just to talk about that before and after, the malleability, the fluidity of aesthetics. And on that note, looking at the physiology of aesthetics, because I train now, I am fasted. I haven't eaten since about 7 p.m. yesterday, so I'm basically completely depleted of muscle glycogen. For those who don't know, once you eat carbohydrates, it's basically stored in the muscles as muscle glycogen. And as well as actually using it for potential energy, in terms of aesthetics, it makes you look full and pumped. In addition to that, as well as loading up with muscle glycogen, you also want to be hydrated, because what happens once you eat carbohydrates, it's stored as muscle glycogen, and that muscle glycogen then draws water in at the same time. So you'll all experience this some days where you wake up, maybe you had a huge pizza the day before, drink plenty of water, you wake up and you're just feeling full, kind of looks good. And then other days you kind of look depleted and look a little bit wiry. That's it. And I think it's important to note as well on this that even like the best bodybuilders in the world, it's a science and an art form, this idea of peaking. There's a brilliant article actually, shout out to Lane Norton. He wrote this brilliant article all around peak week, and he actually just addresses how the body wants homeostasis. It likes things in perfect balance. So when you start manipulating around with like water, with electrolytes, with muscle glycogen, it can do some strange things to the body. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. I think that's also why sometimes you wake up the morning after sort of a few drinks of alcohol the night before, pizza, a kebab, and you look wicked. For some inexplicable reason, it's just kind of worked, that physiology of aesthetics. So, waffling a little bit, hope that all makes sense. Now I suppose what I'm gonna do is talk a little bit about posture, because that's such a big thing. I think when I get very nice comments on social media, sometimes say, oh, Ross, you look amazing. I'm like, oh, yeah, I think it's just because I'm quite short. You know, I'm built like a hobbit, so I kind of carry a lot of muscle mass. And I think in the right lights and stuff, I can look all right, but holding a bad posture, it can definitely make you look a lot worse. And then I'm going to hand over to Ben, because Ben is just a Jedi Grandmaster genius with all things videography, photography, and he's going to talk about good lighting, bad lighting, and how you can look washed out. Is that right, Ben? Washed out? That's the right term, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the magical photo, basically. Magical lighting photo.
Okay, so this is obviously not a good posture. This is not an aesthetic posture. Okay.
Spin to the side. So you'll see like rounded hips come in, pelvis, shoulders rounded. Yeah, not
Shoulders rounded, that's a good one.
yeah. So I want to jump.
I wouldn't win a bodybuilding show like this.
You wouldn't talk. Now, it is worth addressing the fact that Ross is in fantastic shape. So, but for him, we're going to try and make Ross's body not look good. And you'll see this in the after photo. Ross will look completely different. So, yeah, rounded shoulders, hips tucked in. You really lose a lot of height, strength. You look kind of...
I don't have any height to lose.
Yeah, for reference, when you think Ross is really, really tall, he's not. He's a little hobbit. Look at him there. No, I'm actually freakishly tall. That's the difference. Imagine if you were 6'3".
Imagine. Imagine. Oh, oh God.
So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to take some photos.
Cool.
If I need you to just back up a little bit, we're going to go. So what we're going to try and do. I'm going to move on to this one as well.
And this is the thing, isn't it, that washing out light, you don't want light straight at you. That's bad, right?
So this light in here is what we call diffused light. And that means it's really soft. It makes everything look really nice. There's no harsh shadows. So on your face, on squinting. It's really lovely light. However, there's no definition. There's no harsh shadow. We actually want harsh shadows, especially on abs, chest. So if we get nice harsh light coming down, you get a nice shadow underneath, everything looks bigger, more defined, more sharp. So although this is quite a nice light for our eyes, it's not going to make you look overly jacked, even though it's quite hard with you.
Diffuse light is bad.
Diffuse light is bad.
If you want to look jacked.
If you want to look jacked.
If you want to look angelic, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. So this is why it's a yoga studio. Nice soft light.
That makes a lot of sense.
So we're going to do a little...
Do people not want to look jacked in yoga? Like this, bang! I was like,
Really tense.
down my dog! Down my
Relax. Right, okay, so we're
So
going to
rounded shoulders.
So you used to keep your arms quite nice.
This is actually kind of like how you stand normally. I think when you're trying to take a good picture, it's, you know, but that's actually kind of
Yeah, you know, almost your
an honest expression of the human posture.
an honest expression of human posture. Okay, so first photo, just looking straight ahead. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, so I mean, obviously there's muscle mass you have built, which is going to be quite hard to hide. But what we can do is we're not emphasising anything that you have built. So although you have a very aesthetic physique, it's always going to it's true. Like we're not going to make you look terrible, but for you, we're going to wash it out. Just push your stomach out a little bit more. There we go. So we're losing those definitions between the abdominals as well. And that's going to be the big thing. There's no pump in the arms.
That is pretty bad posture, that.
And so, just see.
Oh yeah!
So
That's an amazing one.
you don't look particularly happy.
I don't know. So how much? And a question, because I know you. I mean, we've been working together for ages now. But like, when taking aesthetic fitness photos, whether it's in sport or just fitness, how much is physiology? How much is lighting? How much is posture? Do you think it's like physiology 70%?
I think physiology plays a big role because that depends what you expect. So making you look good is not particularly hard, but what you expect out of it is a lot higher than someone who maybe isn't genetically blessed or hasn't worked as hard. With good lighting and good posture, I can make them for themselves look really, really good. So I think that's a subjective kind of determination more than anything else.
But you need the physiology. If somebody turned up and they had amazing posture and lighting, but just loved donuts, you'll be like, I can't work miracles.
I can't work miracles, but for them, I probably make them feel a lot better about themselves. Because themselves, so that's the difference. So I can't make someone who hasn't worked out a day in their lives look like you. However, the challenge is, so normally, just to put this out there, most people ask me to take good photos of them. Ross is right now asking me to take a bad photo of him, which is quite hard to do.
You got loads.
In the second one, we've got all that food in you, that glycogen, we've pumped you up. It'd be very easy for me to take a really good shot of you because you have built that physiology anyway.
Tell you what is a bad picture that you took of me after Italy.
What were you?
Include it now.
Near death experience.
Yeah.
Skin falling off.
Insert now.
Yeah.
Wicked. Okay, this feels good. So we've got, this is potentially, you know, the bad shot. Now,
let's just phrase it as the before shot. You can't call it a bad shot. You can't call this bad.
you're kind. This is why I love you. This is why I love you. Now, nutritional interventions, where we're going to go and basically eat, but talk specifically about what we're going to eat to get a pump, and then come back, huge back and bicep workout, and then we'll display something very different. Again, all to show the fluidity of aesthetics. Roll out. Tumble. Okay, so what's the plan of attack? What are we thinking? Okay, so this is my favourite place. This is refuel at Gymshark. I think we're just going carb heavy. We're just going to go carbs. Carbs are your best friend.
And sodium.
Good. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but sodium as well. So I'm thinking pizza and I'm thinking a salty pizza to basically force the fluids into the muscle. Like I said, talk about muscle glycogen, and then you want intracellular fluid. Salty. Thank you, bro. What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? I think the blueberries are embedded in there. Because I can't see them, it just looks very chocolatey.
You might have to eat it to find out.
I've never had a blueberry and chocolate.
No, it's unique.
Can't have it. I'll have it. No, I don't want to be that guy.
Okay, so let me talk you through the nutritional rationale for this. We have got cookies, we've got chopped blueberry brownie things, and then we've got a bowl full of salt as well. Reason being, basically, as I said, you want carbs, you want muscle glycogen. So what we're going to do, to replenish muscle glycogen, we're going to start, I need some water as well, that's what I need. We need water, and at the same time as well, I'm going to put a little bit of salt on as well. Sodium is your best friend, because what it's going to do is basically just absorb all of that water and just shove it into the muscle cells. Is the theory you want intracellular hydration? Is the theory. But again, I want to point out that bodybuilders, basically, it's a science and it's an art form, and the best bodybuilders in the world are still getting it wrong. You know, they'll step on stage, they'll look a little bit flat, and then the day after they'll have a cheat meal and they'll look amazing. And oh God, I wish I'd look like this. So it's not an exact science. We're going to see what this does to my physiology. But in the few photo shoots I've ever done, this has worked. So fingers crossed.
Session 1 was a success this morning. We've taken our before picture, and now we are going to be doing session 2, where hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, we're going to be producing a more aesthetic picture, and all of the theory that I've been talking about will work. That's the plan anyway. So what we're doing now, we're going to do a massive, I suppose, biomechanical pull session, but back and biceps, just because that's a bro down, you know? If you're just gonna get a crazy pump, like, this is such a bro down day, isn't it today, Ben?
Yeah, we're just having fun with it, really.
That's all it is. And I think that's nice as well, in the off season. This is really interesting actually as well. A bro down, so just like pure aesthetics, just back and biceps, just getting a pump. It's kind of like, I think off season it's good, because, and this is my rationale for it, you're still improving work capacity. There's a lot of small isolation movements as well. So, you know, I think there's always room for a bro down in a session. In a season, in a periodized season, there's room for a bro down, especially in your off season. So what I'm gonna be doing now, loading up on creatine from PhD. I was talking about this before, but essentially now the goal is to just try to load up on muscle glycogen, hence the pizza and the chips earlier, but also as well hydrate. And what's interesting about the hydration is you're trying to force as much water into the cells, intracellular water. So you just want to fill the muscles up at the same time. Whereas water that exists outside of the cells can actually leave you looking a little bit watery, I suppose. That's water retention, where you just kind of look a little bit watery, the abs aren't quite showing, you're not quite as defined. So you want intracellular water. So to do that, boom, creatine. As we know, it improves the molecular energy of the muscles. That's why I take it. But in terms of aesthetics, it's going to force and draw a lot of water into the muscle cells themselves. And then I'm going for PhD Charge pre-workout. We've got different pre-workouts, but specifically Charge today because it has arginine, an amino acid that is a precursor to nitric oxide. For those who don't know, nitric oxide basically increases vasodilation of your capillaries, opens up the capillaries. So when you just get a massive crazy pump because all the blood is rushing to your biceps because that's what you're training, that is nitric oxide. So arginine, as well as obviously caffeine, beta-alanine, various other things, it's arginine that is the key ingredient in here that hopefully produces that before and after picture in 3 hours that we're trying to achieve today. That is the theory anyway. So we're gonna smash this and then back biceps, aesthetic after picture. That's the goal. Big Ben. I'm now chief cameraman. Nice, big dog, let's go. Armpit cam. Look at those lats. Boom. Ah.
Yes, you want to? Go for it.
Yeah. Or we'll just play it by ear, but it's just keeping tension.
Yep. Squeeze. There we go. 2, 3. One more. Okay.
Oh, that is so good.
Go on, lefty.
It's the pump in my forearm. I don't know if that's the pizza. Or
The pizza is only in my forearm.
I don't know if that's pizza
or cookie.
Oh gosh. No, I know. Ah.
It reminds me of that.
Yeah, it does.
That's it. Lock that arm in. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 4. Okay. Nice. Whip. Yeah. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Nice. Up. That's it. Go on. One more after this, one more after this. That's it. That's it, that's it. Nice. Oh.
That was good. That is so nice. Would you, not heavy, but not light?
That's how I describe myself as well.
How would you describe yourself?
There was the one the other day and it was just like, I look like I train, but I also won't say no to a cookie.
Okay, we are done. I think the arginine has well and truly taken effect. I think the sodium, the carbs has worked. I think. Fingers crossed, touch wood. But this is kind of, this is the I was gonna say the big reveal, but that's promising too much. Do you think, Ben?
I think it will be a drastically different shape.
Mini reveal, medium reveal.
Okay, fair enough.
This is the medium reveal. So like I said, this, we're hoping it shows the sheer contrast, the fluidity of the concept of aesthetics. And then also as well, I caveat everything, and I have been all day. I'm definitely not a bodybuilder. I'm not a fitness model. There are amazing people, Ryan Terry, Chris Bumstead. They're amazing. I'm not. I am an oddly shaped swimmer. However, this is what I've been able to do over the last 3 hours. So let's take a little bit of a peek at what we managed to create. What shall I do?
You're going to put that microphone down and you're going to be a little pretty posy boy for the moment.
Oh God.
Take some photos.
This feels really weird. I don't, it wasn't my safety word.
Pineapple.
Pineapple. What, shall I put this down?
Yeah, put that down.
Okay, you want me to pose? I feel weird.
Okay, so we're just going to start taking some photos. So right now you've got really nice lighting coming down from straight above you. And it's just going to make everything look really defined, like your pecs look so much bigger because you've got that shadow underneath. So. And then obviously if you tense as well, so if you just, yep, there you go. Small twist to the waist, boom, that's it, that's it. Boom, huge difference, huge difference already. You can mostly see it, you see in the tricep, the shoulder, that lighting coming down just gives all this shadow here in contrast. And it really etches everything out. Maybe not so much of that. But, so yeah, if you slightly twist the waist, so if you bring your right hip forward a little bit, that's it, and then you would bring your shoulders straight on. So yeah, so a small twist of the waist, so they're giving that illusion of a smaller waist. This is all they, you would have seen Ryan do at the weekend at the Olympia, that small waist look. And then just squeeze everything, and then also try and look really happy at the same time and smile. There we go. And also coming down lower. So I'm shooting. Well, you makes you look like a normal sized person. I'm going to come all the way back here. And actually what we can do as well, if you just grab some dumbbells, there's a tension in the muscle. So even it doesn't have to be that heavy, but just.
We should have surfed the rack there before.
Yeah. Take a little step back, actually. There we go. Even there, even when you're trying, you've still got ripped arms. That's the annoying bit.
These are so sick.
I mean, that would be your after photo sort of thing. You can see the mass you've gained purely on the top half. So, you happy with those?
I think that's brilliant. Mate, I think that is epic. Also and something we're not even addressed is Photoshop as well. So that concludes what has been an awesome day. It was just a bro down. And we've been saying, like, I mean, those sorts of sessions off season, they're a lot of fun to do because you're not training for anything specific. However, I also hope that it brings home what is an important point, that when looking on social media and looking at images, you know, they're people looking at their absolute best with lighting, they're pumped, they've been training, conditioning, everything for that one moment. And then also as well, we were just talking, weren't we, Ben, which for everything that we talked about there about the manipulation of aesthetics, there's also sort of the editing and manipulation of images. And I don't mean that in a sort of bad way, but I just mean adjusting the contrast and things. Do you find that makes a huge difference as well?
Well, I mean, that's literally my job, effectively, is to take an image and manipulate it to look its best. Now, there's a difference between manipulation and Photoshop and editing. So photo editing is where you change it so it wasn't like it was originally. So that is warping something, making something bigger than it wasn't beforehand, which does happen on quite a lot on social media.
Name names.
But I don't do it. But it does happen a lot, and you get that a lot with so people. I think it's fueled by insecurities or wanting to be the best, but like I make something a little bit bigger than it was, make a waist a little bit smaller. And it happens with guys and girls. Very important to point out. Like girls will shrink their waist, guys will do that too. Girls make their butts bigger, guys make their shoulders bigger, arms bigger. It happens on both scales. It's not just a gender thing.
Right.
But I mean, every photo that I put out has been manipulated in terms of color. Because the idea, especially when you get up to a high-end camera, you're taking a bland photo, so you can manipulate it. So you can change that color to being a bit more rich or a bit more orange rather than green. And so you're playing with the hues, the saturations, the contrast, the textures. You're highlighting images, you're drawing someone's eye something. So the images that I put up of you, I've darkened the background a little bit because you're the subject. I'm not manipulating your body. Could do, we haven't. We don't need to. Exactly. That's what you need when you're swimming, isn't it? Big glutes. But that's the thing. You can do all that. But the idea of being a photographer is to create art, and there is drawing your eye to whatever you want to, and that can be by manipulating it, and then there's editing it, which is another area as well.
And do you think it's become more common in the industry now? Because even like with certain social media platforms making it easier to edit, I don't mean, like I said, the manipulation of that's kind of another level, but I just mean like the contrast, the saturation. Do you think it's becoming more prevalent where people will enhance their images?
I think genuinely it's actually becoming commonplace because things like mobile phones do it for you. So if you look at an iPhone footage versus footage taken on this camera, for example, the image taken via the iPhone is so saturated already, it's so sharp already, there's so much processing that's done without you even wanting to do it, and that's almost what we expect now. We want it to look as good as possible, and then you put it into Instagram, you put a filter on it, or you take it into Facetune or whatever you want to do with it. Yeah, I think it's almost expected. It's so prevalent, we don't even notice that. It's only then when you go above and beyond that we're like, oh, that's edited. Well, almost everything we see has had some processing done to it, whether we want to or not, because phones do it now.
Yeah, okay, I never quite thought about it like that. Okay, well, pizza eaten, chips eaten, biceps trained, hopefully point made. If you liked this, like it.
Press the big button.
And subscribe, why not? It'd be a good idea. And if you like this, leave in the comments what you want us to do next, whether it's another bro down. We had ideas which might be like try and add inches to your biceps, to your chest, but let us know in the comments and we will do it. That's everything. Backward roll.